engine. The first thing you do is you disconnect the battery, because when you disconnect the alternator, the wire here is hot. So remove the negative terminal and then you won't have any problems shorting stuff out. Then remove the alternator and the alternator bracket, which is also the tensioner, which also has coolant lines running through it. Now these are the aluminum type. I'm just going to put them back in with a little sealant, but if you have the plastic, replacing those while you're doing this job. So drain pan's underneath, and when you pull that out it will drain coolant, and you will have to bleed your system with the bleeder valve here, otherwise you'll get airlock in there and overheat your engine. So now we have enough room to get down to the power steering pump. There's a bolt on top that can, as you can see with my finger through there, through the pulley. And then there's one on the bottom side. So there's two bolts that we'll have to remove. They're 13 millimeter, and that's what we're going to work on now. So as you can see, I have my wrench on there, and I find it a good practice to do the more difficult bolt first. Because if you can get the difficult bolt out first, it makes it easier, and then you can do the last one as the easier one. The drain pan's from under the car, and I poured the antifreeze into a jug that says mixed. So I've got a Leonberger out here who's helping me bring the ball back and get snow on my, I call this a creeper. It's actually a moving blanket, comes in pretty handy. But if I leave the antifreeze out, he might drink it, and it's poisonous, so that's not a good idea. And I need my drain pan now to put underneath there for the power steering fluid that's going to drain out of there some. So on the bottom of the pump, there's a little wire holder poked through right there in the middle. Now we have to use a pair of pliers to squeeze that together to get that out first. Okay, as you can see, that's a 5/8 wrench on there, and I propped up the pump against something and I cracked it loose, and so now I'm gonna spin that off of there. And then last, I'm going to do the little spring clamp for the low pressure hose. And that should free up the pump so I can pull it out of there, and then we'll do the reverse for the install. I used the channel locks to loosen the spring clamp and back it off from the top side, because I could get the pump rotated enough to get at that. Pull the hose off and it's free.